I'm Stephanie Schubert. I'm with Pacifica Radio. I work with Ursula. I'm in Ames, Iowa with her. Today I'm in my house, though I come in on Tuesdays now so I can see the crew. And yeah, we're in the KHOI building upstairs, and that's it. And I'll pass it on to Ursula since she's next to me in the little boxes up above.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the meeting. It's great to have you. And like Stephanie said, this is a weekly meeting that happens anyway. And so we're real pleased to have, the opportunity to talk about the GRC. And I'm excited to hear what everybody's thoughts are and what Sharon shares with us. Coming.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Hi, it's Kenya. Sharon and I co-admin the LPFM Solidarity page. And like Ursula, I'm excited to hear what she has in mind for GRC this year.
Okay, great. And can you pass it on to someone else?
Why don't I pass it to Sharon?
Hi, everybody, and thank you all for being here. It's exciting and strange times, obviously, so looking forward to a new and different conference this year. But I'm Sharon Scott with WXOX, and you all were supposed to be here with us in Louisville here, but we will make that happen another time, and looking forward to hearing your ideas. I'll pass it on to Rashida, who is one of the hosts of last year's conference, which was amazing.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Rashida. I'm with WXIR in Rochester, New York. And I, too, am looking forward to getting some information on what the GRC is going to look like this year and see how I can be of any assistance. I'll pass it on to my Rochester neighbor, Max.
Hey, thanks, Rashida. Yep, I'm Max Kelly, part of the operations team at WAYO here in Rochester. Hosted last year along with Rashida and our friends at Polaire 97.1 as well. And yeah, here to hear about GRC.
Can you pass it on to someone else, Max?
Oh, geez, now I screwed it up. Okay, let's go to Imgard.
Hi, my name is Imgard with KPJ LPFM in San Antonio. Just here to listen in and see how I can be of assistance. I'm gonna pass it over to Frida.
Oh, is that me? Oh, hi. I'm Frida Worden with WINGS, Women's International News Gathering Service. I'm in my house on Denman Island, British Columbia, and I'm looking forward to finding out what we're going to do for the GRC virtually.
And can you pass it on to the next person?
Oh, I think I saw Jim Ellinger here. I'll pass it on
Yeah.
to...
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello. Well, hello, everyone. This is Jim Ellinger. I'm the president of the Frida Worden Fan Club here in Austin, Texas. Would definitely like to visit with the woman from San Antonio when this is over. Austin Airwaves is a long time community radio group. We've helped put NFCB and GRC and MARC stations on the air, both low power and full power here in the United States and increasingly around the world, and increasingly post-disaster cities, Houston and New Orleans after Katrina, Haiti after the earthquake, and many other places. We were getting our bags packed to go to a small village in Malawi, which is in Southeast Africa, after having raised all the money, done all the logistics, got the airline travels, an enormous project, probably Austin Airways' biggest ever project, take an entire radio station to a little village in Malawi when, of course, the pandemic broke loose. We were lucky not to be stuck there. I should also note, for those of you who don't know how big Texas is, the hurricane completely missed us, and it's nothing but high and dry here. But I'm very glad to see that Sharon and all the folks at ArtXFM are pulling off a virtual conference. We're big fans of their work, and Austin Airways would like to donate the first $100 in sponsorships or scholarships to this year's, surely to be a very successful conference.
Great, thanks, Jim. Can you pass it on to someone else?
Thanks, Jim.
No. How do I do that?
Oh,
Just say
just name someone in the group.
I'm not looking at the group. I'm sorry. Why don't you do that for me, please?
Sure, no problem. Okay, let's go to Jar Turner. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm Jar Turner. I am from Bloomington, Indiana, about an hour and a half north of Louisville. I caught wind of this group in the past couple of years. Our music director has been attending or speaking in some sort, Jim Mannion. He couldn't be here today, but I wanted to take further interest in the group and see what it had to offer.
Thanks, Jar. You want to pass it on?
Sure. Let's do Joseph.
Well, thank you, Jar. I'm Joseph Orozco. I'm the station manager of KIDE Hoopa, California. I'm in my studio right now, but behind me is the tree in our backyard. And we are in Hoopa. Gets all the smoke from all the fires that are anywhere around us, and hopefully that's all we get is the smoke and not the flames, so we'll be satisfied with just that. We have been in operation for just about getting close to 40 years now, and this morning I got the sad news that somebody stole our emergency broadcast unit toy box, or toy. We had this big thing that we had transmitter and broadcast equipment, and somebody moved off with it this morning because it was on loan to somebody else to be used for something else, and they're on the lookout for it. So I have gotten no reports yet, but if you see it,
if I see it, I'll let you know.
Thank you. It's heading north someplace. I don't know. That's the last time we saw it. It's heading north. Let's pass it on to Michelle.
Greetings from REC Networks and also Pacific affiliate REC Delmarva FM. We've been pretty busy here because, you know, we've got at least, looks like we've got the prospect of 2 filing windows coming up, one for full service NCE, and then that's going to be followed up eventually by one for LPFM. So, you know, one of the things that we may want to consider with this GRC is to try to attract those who are prospective broadcasters who might be participating in one of these upcoming filing windows, as well as the LPFM stations that are in the more ruralish areas that may want to graduate to full service. So that's kind of where we're at right now. With that, working on a few other FCC rulemaking issues right now, and trying to fix all the bad data that we get from the FCC for our tools. So that's pretty much where we're at here.
Thanks, Michelle. You want to pass it on?
All right, let's see here. I'm gonna go one step down from me here on my little board here to Lori McArdle.
Thanks, Michelle. Great to see everyone. I'm Lori at WERA LP Arlington here at Arlington Independent Media in Arlington, Virginia. And we were kind of in a crisis mode before the pandemic, so it's only magnified. So we're shifting and pivoting and reconfiguring as best we can. But I haven't been as active with GRC as I'd like the past year or so. So I'm looking forward to being more involved this year. And I will pass it on to Joe from KPSQ.
Hi, everybody. I'm the station manager. We're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and looking forward to finding out more and passing on all the information I can glean to our other radio activists. Signing out. So how about Eva?
Hi, thank you, Joe. Eva, I'm with Spinitron, and some of you with our service, and I've been at GRC before, and I had a lot of fun, and I was fully hoping to go to Louisville this year, but if I can't be there in person, at least I would like to be part of the group virtually, and if there is anything I can help you put the conference together or talk about certain topics that anybody would be interested, I'm more than happy to do that. And so I also wonder what stations are struggling with, and I would like to learn more about it. So that's why I'm here, and if I can provide any support to anyone, that would be, or the whole group, that would be great. And I would like to pass it on to a lovely Arizona station in Phoenix, Kaya. Kaya.
I remember to unmute myself.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, I'm Kaja Brown. I'm with Radio Phoenix, and right now I am at home because it's 110 degrees outside, and I don't have to be at the station till later. So.
Thanks, Kaya. You want to pass it on?
I don't know how, who should I pass it on to who hasn't talked already? I'll go to Betty.
Pass it on to Laganzi. Laganzi has it.
Laganzi, okay.
I think I may be last or close to last. Oh,
no, there's more.
Okay, Laganzi Kale, KLEKLP, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Like everyone else, looking forward to seeing how this comes off virtually. I think there's a lot of opportunities to include more people and to learn some things that we have not learned before. And even going forward to future GRCs, I imagine that incorporating this format will probably be a part of future conferences, even as we go back to in person. So as always, glad to attend. Hate that not going to be there in person because I do love to travel and I always make time each year to travel somewhere for GRC, but gonna make the most of it along with everyone else. So let me find somebody. Oh, let's Mgard Rop. Have you went yet? You're muted.
I already did.
Okay.
Hey, sorry about. Can you hear me?
I haven't been scrolling. So anyone who hasn't went yet, I pass it on.
I'm Margie.
Tom Voorhees. Why don't you go ahead, Tom?
I'm Tom Voorhees. I'm with KPFA, a Pacifica station in Berkeley. I'm also a transmitter engineer. I work mostly with Pacifica affiliate stations throughout the country, and there's a couple of them also outside our country. I also have the, I don't know, dubious distinction of being on the Pacifica National Board, trying to get Pacifica back on the financial feet again, and that's enough for me.
Thanks, Tom. Margie Esrock, do you want to go next?
Hi. Hi, I'm Margie Esrock.
Margie.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm listening in today. I'm a member of Sharon's, Scott's WXOX board, and just listening in today to get some good advice and good ideas about the grassroots conference. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Margie. And how about Russell? Can you hear us? I see your.
Actually, it's Cynthia. I
Gotcha.
don't know how his name got on here, but I'm Cynthia Pooler. I'm from Albany, New York, and I'm with WCAA. And I met Sharon a couple of years ago when the grassroots conference was in Albany.
Good to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Matilda, how are you doing?
Breathing difficultly. We have a lot of smoke. We have this huge fire near us, and unfortunately, a couple of our programmers lost their homes completely. So we are kind of mourning, but at the same time, you know, it's a great opportunity to really connect with the community and do some reporting, and so which has been really great. So I'm far enough away from the fire. Santa Cruz is not in danger anymore, but you know, the smoke is just terrible, absolutely terrible. But we'll get over it, and we really hope that, you know, not too many homes, more than 600 homes have already, you know, burned in the fire, and 23,000 more are in danger. So it's bad. But our radio station is doing well. People are, you know, obviously staying home inside, keeping the doors and windows closed, and are listening to us. And, you know, I mean, it's amazing. Even though the money could go to all these people that have burned homes, we have a number of new donors. It's, I guess, you know, is a good thing for us, meaning that we're doing a good job with the reporting. So, but I'm glad to be here, and I'm interested in hearing what the program is. And I'm going to give it to Peter Frank.
Oh, thanks. Hi, I'm Peter Frank. Currently, I'm part of the regular monthly radio for the People Call. I was chair of the Lawyers Guild Committee on Democratic Communications, which kept pirate radio on the air long enough to get LPFM legalized, the process we helped a bit with. I think I have to apologize for being a former president of Pacifica as well.
Just for everybody's information, this is a meeting of Pacifica Network, so nobody has to apologize here for Pacific. It's really not necessary here, okay, guys? These are our clients.
we got to get Pacifica into much better shape than it is.
Okay, we do not need to discuss all Pacifica's faults.
Thanks, Peter.
Sure.
Eduardo, would you like to go next?
Sure. My name is Eduardo Valencia. I'm a system manager at KUCR Radio in Southern California in the city of Riverside at the University of California in Riverside. We got a few of our crew on here too.
Wonderful. Thanks, Eduardo. Let's see. How many? Do we have more than one Jim?
We have Betty McCardle here. Betty, you want to go ahead?
We have Betty. Hey, Betty.
Hi there. Hi, all.
Hi,
It
Betty.
looks like my video camera is not working, and that's really not a picture of me, as most of you know, although it's a lovely person. I'm Betty McCardle. I'm with Community Media Assistance Project, which means I'm a handholder to community radio, as Michael calls, sorry about that, calls me. I was co-chair of the 2018 GRC in Portland, and I'm on this call to see if I can contribute anything, or if people have any questions of me as a former chair, or just about anything. I'll hold your hand.
Thanks, Betty.
You're welcome.
We have David.
David, yes.
Mr. Clan.
You're on mute, David.
Are you talking about Davine?
No, we were
David,
David
but I
Clown
don't.
to talk.
He might have some sound issues. Can you hear us, David? I can see his mouth moving. Okay, maybe we'll go back to you.
Gotta fix the sound routing, David.
Davine, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, Davine, why don't you go next?
I'm Davine Dial. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina. And I've had the pleasure of sitting in on most of these station manager roundtables, and really glad to see a lot more people here. All is well here in Asheville. Most of our show hosts are recording remotely and sending them in, and that'll be it for me.
Thanks, Davey. Let's see, Elliot, did you go today yet?
Not yet. I'm Elliot Fong. I'm with the KUCR out at UC Riverside. I'm here with Eduardo and Luis. We're a Pacific affiliate and just wanted to check it out. And yeah, it's great to be here.
Cool, thanks, Elliot. And there's someone on iPhone LVDB.
Yeah, that's Louis Vandenberg, KUCR, University of California, Riverside. Today I'm at UCLA.
Okay, cool, welcome. And the Vertical, how are you doing?
Check, check, 1, 2.
Oh, is this David?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was testing. Can you hear me? Oh, great.
Yes.
Computers are hard. I'm an independent roustabout. I've built a couple of radio stations, WDRT in Viroqua, Wisconsin, and WNUC LP in Detroit. And I've presented at a few GRCs, and I just like to make trouble. Here I am.
Good to have you.
Thanks.
And I know the Vertical is with us. I think before he's had sound issues, so I don't. I'm wondering if today is if he's just listening. He might put something in the chat. We'll see. And so welcome to you, Vertical, also. Michael Brown, we haven't heard from you yet.
Oh, hi. I just joined Brown Broadcast Services and just was interested in the GRC presentations. We might have something to offer as far as the session.
Great, good to have you.
If this was an actual emergency, the attention signal that you just heard would have been followed by news and other official information.
Stephanie, are you on mute?
Stephanie, I think Bear is the last person. Bear, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? I guess she's gone.
Oh, I saw her for a second. Okay.
Yeah, she's gone.
Did we get to everybody? Is there anyone else who hasn't gone? Kenya? Kenya went earlier. Yeah, she knows Sharon, right? Okay. Yep. Okay. I think that's everybody. Okay, last call. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. This is great to have so many people here. Nice to see all your faces. Sharon's going to talk today about the newest developments with the GRC meeting and how we can help. So without further ado, I will turn it over to her. Oh, and sorry. Looks like everyone's got good practice with keeping your mic muted if you're not talking. And if you have to go early, that's fine. Just maybe you can write a little note in the chat and let us know if you need to go. And then Okay, now Sharon, over to you.
It's great to see all these. As I mentioned.
Sharon, can you move a little closer to your speaker? We can't hear you. To the microphone.
No, maybe if I sign out and come back.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on a cell phone, holding your cell phone 6 feet away.
Can you just sit closer to your microphone? You're just very far away. Can you just lean in?
I think it's a connection issue. I think she's right that if she logs out and logs back in, she might have better luck. I've seen this a number of times this week.
Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I'll be right back.
Okay, you can make a grand entrance.
Bear, you want to introduce yourself while we wait?
Yeah, hi. I'm Bear. I'm a volunteer programmer and board member at KMUT. Hey, Frida, great to see you. And I just happened to be dressed for the occasion with my, I don't remember what year this was, but 1997 GRC shirt. KMUD organized the GRC back in, what was it, 2010, and up through Ames. What year was that, Ursula? That was the last one I made it to, I think.
2014.
That was
2014.
Okay. Yeah, so I've been missing the GRCs. I just haven't been able to make it. The traveling got a little bit hard. So this is pretty exciting that it's going to happen on Zoom, and I can't wait to see how we pull it together. Hey, Stephanie, where are you from?
Thanks, Bear. I am from Ames. I work with Ursula.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
That's right. I've seen your name on multiple emails now. I'm remembering.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
She does a great
Yeah.
job keeping us connected. That's for sure.
Hey, there you are. You're back.
Can you hear me better now?
Just lean in. Just lean in. You're just very small.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's good.
all right. Just make signals if you're not hearing me, and I'll try to shout louder. Is it really difficult to hear?
You're good now. Just lean
Much
in.
better now, yeah.
Okay, good, great. Okay, well, welcome. The radio person would have mic troubles today, but great to see you all. It's, this is the best thing about the GRC is connecting with the radio people throughout the world, and just getting everyone together and sharing ideas and conversations and technology and all those things that we struggle with on our own as we're isolated in our own worlds. Because I don't know about you guys, but we don't have, we don't have other stations that are like us in our community. So when we get together, the GRC, it's really inspiring to know there's others out there on this big sea. So wonderful to see you all. Thank you for Ursula and Stephanie for pulling all this together. They have weekly sessions with the Pacifica station managers, and it started as a response to the pandemic, and then we just realized we just really needed this this weekly conversation to check in. It's been wonderful. So any of you who are Pacifica station managers, I would definitely encourage you to join us at this time every week. But yeah, so it's crazy to find ourselves in this position, crazy to see you all here. Obviously, when we were in Rochester last year having a grand old time, we never imagined that we wouldn't be able to do the same thing in the upcoming year. So it's certainly disappointing in that way. Again, the best part of the GRC is being with you all and being together, but we're having to figure out, what do we do now? We're all having to adapt our stations, our households, our personalities to this weird world that we're living in now for God knows how long. So we've decided that it was really important for us to get together in some way, if not, in person. And because of all the things happening in our society right now, that this really wasn't a year to just skip out on it. So we're doing the best we can. We're figuring it out as we go, which I think is kind of the nature of the Grassroots Radio mission and the project and all of our crazy stations. And so this will be an experiment, and we'd love to have your advice and your input. Obviously, it's just a little over a month away, so we don't have a ton of time to make it happen. We're trying to streamline as much as possible and focus on the issues that are really pressing at this moment. If all goes well, you know, hopefully some miracle of science will make it so that we can all be together again in Louisville soon, and we'll have a grand old party and, you know, really enjoy each other's presence again. If that's not possible within the coming months after this conference, we would definitely like the idea of making this sort of an ongoing thing, where if we're not able to get to everybody's proposal or idea in this conference, maybe we could do it again in another few months and bring everybody together again. So those are kind of some of the, you know, things that we're thinking right now. I've got Margie Esrock on the line. She introduced herself earlier. She's been a founding board member of Art FM and been with us for now, it's almost 8 years, broadcasting online for 4 years and now another 4 on the FM. So we are an LPFM radio station, again, here in Louisville, Kentucky, which is a very exciting place to be right now. We've got a lot happening here. And again, it would have been great to have you here, but I think it's interesting, you know, that this conference can be centered here in some way because we have a lot of great people that we can involve. But we'd love to involve all of you all. And again, there's not a lot of time. So this is my pitch to you to please get your presentation ideas in. What we would like to do is focus on the 3 topics that we think are most pertinent to right now. And obviously the first one is the pandemic and how are stations adjusting to the, you know, new life and times during the pandemic. Some stations are shut down, doing all remote. Some stations are, you know, implementing very strict health standards. So we'd like to have one day where we're talking about all that. How are you keeping your station safe while keeping your listeners informed? Another day we'd like to have is going to be concerning the protests and the civil rights movement, the new civil rights movement, the justice movement. And we would like to talk about how is your station engaging in that? Are there protests in your city that you have correspondents covering? Are you covering the politics in the city? What are you doing internally to make sure that your station is representing your community and the voices in your community? So some self-reflection and, you know, really looking at community radio and how can community radio itself be a more inclusive medium. And then the third topic would be the presidential election, the upcoming presidential election. How do we cover the candidates safely in terms of our FCC license? How do we cover the elections fairly? And again, making sure we're upholding all the non-commercial regulations. And how do we encourage people to get out and vote? That would be a, you know, a big thing. And finally, how do we cover the election night results and how are we reporting on that? So those are the 3 primary topics that we would like to focus on. Now, some of your presentations could be kind of tangentially related to one of those topics. For instance, I would like to do a presentation on remote broadcasting. We've got our DJs live from home, remoting in, and it's a fairly simple process that I'd like to do a demonstration on. And I'm going to relate that to the pandemic day because we wouldn't be forced to remote broadcast if it wasn't for this terrible thing. So we'd like to think about and hear from you on different technology, things that you've had to discover in this time of crisis, things that have helped your station out. It would be great to hear from some experts. Earlier in these meetings, we had Dr. Derry on from WHIV in New Orleans, who's radio station manager and an infectious disease expert. And he had lots of great ideas for keeping your station open during this time. So he would be a great speaker to involve. And I'm sure you guys can can help me think of other people that we could reach out to. Each day, we would like to start each day with sort of a history of radio as it relates to the topic. For instance, on the day with the protests, maybe we could have someone talk about how radio played a role in the Vietnam peace movement and the civil rights movement of the 60s and 70s. And maybe on the pandemic day, we could have somebody talk about the history of radio in times of pandemic, either the 1918 pandemic here or other pandemics worldwide, where radio might have played a role in distributing health information. So those are kind of the things that we're thinking and we're working on and we're building. We're reaching out to folks in our community. There's a few of you all on the line that I may be reaching out to personally. From here, I'd kind of just like to hear some of your ideas and some of your thoughts. I would just like, I've kind of rambled on a bit, but I do want to just say that Margie and I have to exit this this meeting at some point and get over to an Art FM board meeting that I realize it's at 6 o'clock, but we'll have to exit at some point to breathe and have a bite to eat. So if we could just stay on topic, if you have a tangential story or something like that, save it for the conference. We will have social times like this. Again, it's great to get to meet people. But if we could just focus on ideas for this upcoming conference and things either that you'd want to present or things that you could help with, I'd love to hear that.
I see in the chat that we already have Jim mentioning how's a panel idea, riots for radio, radio coverage of demonstrations and riots. And I see Rashida asking, are the workshops strictly limited to the 3 topics requested, which you addressed a little bit, but maybe you can go more in depth.
I think we are really trying to stay on topic for this conference, but we could accept those ideas, thinking about potentially if there is room to fit in other things and if, you know, we have a future conference. So I would say go ahead and submit it, but just know, you know, don't be terribly disappointed if we say it's not on the topics we're focusing on. I'm not, and also I want to say, just clarify that we have a panel of Art FM folks who will be reviewing the presentations and that sort of thing. So it's not me personally. So, well, I'm just representing for the station. But we really will work to get as many folks involved as possible. We're limited by the technology somewhat, but hopefully if there's certain ideas that overlap, we can develop those into panels and that sort of thing. So we would like to hear, you know, as many ideas as possible.
It sounded like you were mentioning that, is it going to be a theme, one theme per day, per, like the election one day, pandemic one day? Okay.
At this point, that's how we're planning to do it, although it will depend on, you know, what we get in terms of presentation ideas.
Okay. Lots of chat comments. Also KSQD on reporting during the fires. Maybe this can get folded into another topic.
I was thinking about that. That seems, I mean, since that's a sort of an emergency type situation that's very pressing right now, I think that is something that we would like to work into the conference in some way.
And Betty's asking, are you looking at one session for each time period rather than 2 or 3 per time slot?
Yes, we were planning on doing that kind of streamline, just since this is our first time to do this. However, we've now had lots of great ideas coming in, like a youth track, a Spanish language track, things like that, that may make for a few alternative things happening at the same time. But the original idea was to streamline it and have everything.
Was someone else saying something? Sort of along that same line, will there be a full day of sessions?
Yes, as far as I can tell, it will be. We're trying not to overwhelm everyone and have some break times and some social times and actually some entertainment at the end of the evening as well.
Okay. One idea might be to have a presentation followed by a roundtable on the topic that was just covered. Okay. 3 days. How many hours in a day? I don't know if you know that yet.
I really like that idea, first of all, about the roundtable followed by the presentation. Personally, I really like online things where there's an opportunity to give feedback and conversation. So that's great. And no, we don't know the schedule yet. We want to consider our friends on the West Coast. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. Obviously, there's a little bit of a time difference. So we're thinking to start sometime around 10 or 11 a.m. And then go well into the evening with the entertainment, going into the night. And we'd be open to suggestions if you know a musician that's live streaming or something like that that would like to be involved. The great thing is we can have these, stuff happen all over the world.
Tech issues and/or filing windows as subjects, I'm guessing.
I think that's a great idea in terms of focusing on upcoming, immediate type things. Michelle, is that your question?
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm also thinking too, because of the limited scope right now, the issue that we have where we can't bring people in on a track. It is early. There hasn't been really enough notice. I am thinking, because with the power of Zoom and with the power of all this stuff, that maybe we should have maybe like a second conference per se, and be like a prospective broadcasters conference where we can take some of the same experts that are, some of the same experts that are coming in, so we could have a more intensive on the windows, understanding the rules, understanding the basic technical aspects of starting a station. I think that because of everything that's going on this year with the pandemic and the current civil unrest right now and everything going on, and the current current resident at 1600, I really think that has really shifted this year's let's say this, it has defined this year's scope of the actual main GRC. And I think it's appropriate that we are looking at doing that in that way, because we have these immediate needs that need to be addressed. But at the same time too, we're going to have some interest that's going to stir up here. I mean, Pi has already mentioned the NCE window, which, I don't know how, I mean, we've already done our own studies on where it looks like these things may be able to go. And I mean, yeah, there might be some excitement. I'm starting to get calls on it. But I think what's going to probably build up the bigger excitement is later in 2011 or 2022 is when there's another LPFM window announced. Because, we saw what happened in 2013. And, there's still plenty of room out there for LPFMs, maybe not in the big major cities, but, there are opportunities out there for both services. But I think because of the ease of how easy it is to get an LPFM station versus the complexities of full service NCE, and also the newness of the noviceness of those who will be coming on board with LPFM, that we probably we probably would need to focus maybe next year's GRC with more of that. Hopefully we'll be physically located next year, or either that, or we need to have like a separate mini conference for newcomers.
I like that idea, Mishi, about a second conference. I think that's a great idea. Kind of see how this goes and learn a little bit and focus on the very immediate things, and then take notes for something in the future. I think that's a great idea. Michael Brown is raising his hand.
This is a feature of Zoom that I've never tried, but Zoom has the capability of breakout rooms. Was this discussed? You can have up to 50 separate breakout sessions. You can do an entire conference with plenaries and then breakouts, and have people decide for themselves which which session they want to go to and have concurrent sessions going on at the same time. That's capability that's built into Zoom. I've never tried it. I'd be curious whether anybody in here has.
I had to teach all of my summer camps virtually this year, and sorry if you guys can't hear me. My dogs are obnoxious, but
we hear that too.
But I had to conduct 3 weeks worth of summer camps this summer, completely virtually using Zoom, and the breakout sessions were incredibly helpful, especially when it came to one of the things we were doing. Like one of my camps was a radio drama camp, and it allowed people to come up with script ideas, you know, and then kind of come back as a larger group to kind of bring things together. So there's a lot of capabilities within Zoom, and especially if there's multiple users, you can set up several sessions so that they are happening at the same time if you would like, you know. You can set up, I'm sorry, I'm distracted myself by my dogs. But yeah, so I think you guys get it.
No, I will, Rashida, I'll probably be hitting you up for some information on that, because we are just digging into that, Michael. Great thing to think about. We were messing around with it amongst our staff the past few nights, kind of learning how that works, but we're new at it. So Rashida, some pro tips would be great. But we would like to do that, and then have the opportunity to break into smaller groups, maybe on topics, or even, you know, sometimes all the engineers want to hang out, and all the GMs want to hang out, and the radio personalities or whatever, you know, what have you. And we'd like to also have some opportunities for some of the technical folks, like Ava, I know on the line from Spinatron, and that would be wonderful to have, you know, like a Q&A about Spinatron or something at some point during the session. So, and Michelle, you know, you might be able to, I'm sure you can think of some technical session that would be very helpful.
Yeah, we can definitely put something together there probably.
So, so we would, you know, we would like to have some smaller Q&A type sessions as well. And just social, you know, chat opportunities.
Now, do you know whether the attendees can freely switch between breakouts, or is this all under the control of the host?
It's all controlled by the host. Only the
The
host,
host?
can create. Yes, the host can create the breakout rooms, place people in them, bring everybody, close the breakout rooms to bring everybody back together, and the host can kind of jump in any of the breakout rooms they want.
But the participants can't jump around from room
Correct.
to room on their own?
Correct.
Well, that's too bad. Okay.
Yeah, I know that would have been great for our purposes, but
because that's what we do at conferences, or at least what I do, you know.
Yeah.
You can go from the whatever room you're assigned to, you can then go back into the main lobby area. So like if you're bored with the speaker, you can go hang out in the lobby and chat with your friends. that opportunity.
We need to hire a concierge.
Yeah.
Well, can't you just set up a numerous, like different separate streams, so that if you want to, you would have like a stream for each workshop, and then, I mean, I was assuming the breakouts would be more for each workshop, but if you have separate streams, somebody can leave a stream and go to a separate stream.
Yes, that requires different users, but that's
Yeah, you'd have to have different users.
Yep. But it's definitely doable. That way participants can jump from session to session if they want to do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, you really only need 3 or 4 users, tops.
And when you guys say users, clarify that for me so I understand.
I mean, like accounts, accounts.
Right.
So yeah, each host would have their own login, create the session, etc. But multiple people can have the links to the different sessions so that they can pop in and out if they want.
Would that be on just one Zoom account, or like 3 separate Zoom accounts?
Yeah, that'd be like 3 separate accounts.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. So we have We have the call for proposals out there now. It can be, simple as you like. This is GRC, so it doesn't have to be a long, giant essay, but just give us an idea of what you might like to present about. And then it asks which of the days are you available, how long your presentation will be, that kind of stuff. It also asks if you have the capacity to host a Zoom meeting. As we're still trying to figure out how this is all going to work. We may just get the host to do their own meeting, and then you're in control of your own meeting. It just depends. But we do want to know if you'd be able to do that or not. It might give us some more options. But please do get your proposal in as soon as possible. Right now we have Mishi. I need to get with you about the website, I guess. So we've got most of it posted at virtualgrc.org temporarily, and then we can move it over to grassrootsradioconference.com. Is that what it is?
So I don't know if that might answer Davine's question of if there's a master list where some can add or view the suggestions. Like a Google Doc, I'm wondering if she's thinking, or if maybe the website will serve that purpose.
I'm sorry, say again what you want to do.
What's that? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I was because you were asking us if the website could do something. I was just saying, say again what you want.
Oh, I see Davine was asking if there's a master list where people can view or add the suggestions for classes or courses that they want to present. But I see we're just talking about the website, so I don't know if it'll be listed on there or.
Yeah, in the past we have done that through the Google spreadsheet thing.
Okay.
The Google Doc spreadsheet. So that way, those who are, at Art FM, who are going to be running through the different, different sessions, they can leave their own comments in there on, on the various things, so they can track it. It's a hokey way to do it, but it's a lot easier to track than it would to sit down and write a whole bunch of code to make something similar on a web, through a website, at such short notice. So,
sure.
That worked in Portland. So I'm assuming it could work here, especially since there's not going to be that many people that are going to be contributing to it when you compare it to the number of participants, attendees, I should say.
So is there a Google Docs for GRC already?
No, just build one. Just start one. Just start one from scratch, and pass around the URL to those who you think might be interested.
Okay.
Aaron, what you're looking for, I may have actually included in that folder I shared with you from last year, because we used a lot of Google Docs and forms and stuff in there. So I'd say take a peek in there, because
yeah, thank you. I need to
be all set.
Review that again. So our crew set up a Google Doc. We think document sharing is an important part of this conference. So we just today actually set up a Google Doc for virtual GRC site where people could upload things. And so I guess my question is, does that already exist though, or do we just use that?
No, this is just one of those things that every year everybody does their own different thing. It's just on some of the more common public-facing things. We tried a few years ago. One of the efforts that Betty and I were working on was to make sure that we could get some constant public-facing materials out there, such as the website, the Facebook group, etc. But for all the backroom stuff, the planning and stuff like that, everybody has autonomy, and they can pretty much do everything they want every year.
So we've built the website. We're just waiting to get the login on the website. We got the Facebook page, and so we've built the website, and we're going to have the speakers will be listed there.
Oh, okay. So you've got a website already, and this is already sitting on a publicly available. If I go to virtualgrc.org, am I going to be able to see this?
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
Then what I can do is I can just set up the domains here to just redirect to this. That'll be a lot easier.
Okay, that sounds great. Good deal.
Yeah.
And we've got it. Don't do all, like, we linked to the history, which is great, that you have on your website.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So will that go away too?
Not sure. I can probably arrange something to make it work.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay,
I can do that. I just need to get in the Drupal on my side and do that, and that should work.
Because there is a lot of great information on there that we don't want to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we will have, right now you can go to this site and you can click here to present your proposal. So it's a very simple form, really. So if you could just fill that out for us, give us your idea. You can, try something different. This is a unique year. But if you have something to share, we'd love to hear it. Things like controlling your station remotely, making badges for something that's really interesting to me would be a workshop on making press badges for your folks who are out there covering the protests, that sort of thing. So there's lots of great ideas this year. And yeah, if it goes great, and I just love seeing you all and connecting with you all. I think that the idea for doing another one, a few months into the new year on some of the more general topics would be fantastic as well.
We had a question on the chat. Is the start time for the conference Eastern or Pacific or Central time?
We're trying to work with everybody on that. So we're thinking to start at around 10 or 11 a.m. Eastern time. So it's not too gosh darn early for the folks on the West Coast. Kind of early, but probably 11. I think we're probably going to go with 11. Now that I do the math.
Will you be calling on AMARC to reach potentially interested people from outside the U.S.?
That's a brilliant idea. Is it Frida? Is that your question?
That's Betty.
That's Betty. Great. That's a great question, Betty. I would encourage at this point, as you can imagine, we are, we're focusing on some things that are really right in front of us. But if you guys want to reach out to the whole wide world and let them know about this, we would really appreciate it. And use your connections. I think AMARC has been doing some really interesting sessions. In fact, it might be possible to bring one of those sessions to the GRC. If anyone has those kind of connections, please use them.
What sessions are you referring to, and how long ago?
It was, that's a great question. And I didn't actually have the opportunity to attend, but it looked like a great session. It was female reporters in the world. I believe they were dealing with the pandemic.
That was AMARC?
I think it was.
Because
Yep.
I'm an AMARC member and I wasn't notified of that. The International Association of Women in Radio and Television is about to do something of that sort.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to be moderating a breakout room tomorrow at a session between the U.S. chapter and Ghana that Sheila, whom you met, is organizing. I mean, not Ghana, but Uganda. Sorry.
I would. This is Jim. I would add. I'm an old MARCer too. The days of MARC's involvement with North America seem to be over. And as Frida was saying, the International Women in Radio and Television is kind of going like gangbusters, and they're doing some great stuff. I would say that those of us with these sort of connections would reach out to them. MARC has become so distant, figuratively and literally. I'm not sure who we would even reach out to. Thank you.
Well, there are discussions among various disaffected AMARC members about trying to get them to hold another General Assembly because it's been over 5 years now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been kind of taken over by Europe, AMARC Europe at present. But it's still, I'd love to see it come back. And a lot of people, including a lot of board members, are interested in making that happen. So stay tuned. We'll probably have something of AMARC again.
you all bring up a great topic, that this is really a wonderful time for us to be able to reach out to stations that may not be able to attend the regular conference, whether distance or money or whatever it is. So I would really want to encourage you all, especially once we, get our presentations aligned, but even now, please let them know about the conference. And we are also considering making it so that you could pay by the day or get a discount if you do all 3 days. We'll have further information about that shortly, but we do want to keep it affordable. We don't want price to be a barrier to anyone. Radio Jim of Austin Airways has just offered to help with some scholarships. So, hopefully this will be something that we can involve a lot of people in that maybe faced barriers before. So please do your networking and get the word out. The more the merrier, of course.
Also from Frida, we have, we'd love a live demo of how to manage Zoom meetings and videos. That'll be a good one.
Great idea.
We're all learning that.
I need a preview.
Bear's talking about, will there be breakout rooms for smaller group discussion? We've touched on a little bit. Sounds like that's up for thinking about that. Will there be outreach to newcomers? Maybe you were thinking maybe the second meeting, the second GRC for newcomers. Is that what we were talking about?
I think we would like to, do something where we, at least are able to welcome the new people that are at this particular conference as well. Couple things I wanted to mention. We'll be doing an opening and a closing type session as we usually do, kind of to welcome everybody, and then the close, thinking about the future conferences. And a couple things I wanted to throw out there as possible ideas. Some of you guys might want to help us think about. We lost a couple of radio greats this year. Of course, Donna won't be able to be here with us, the radio goddess. And we also lost Lorenzo Malone, community radio pioneer, and Ken Berryhill, founder of WRVU in Nashville. So if anyone has someone in the radio world that they feel like we should recognize, I think it would be nice to do a small moment for each of them. And I think somebody just had their hand raised. Wanted to say something. But now I'm not seeing them. I've lost all my screens. Margie, did you want to chime in and say anything regarding what we've been talking about at WXOX?
I just, I think you've covered it well, Sharon. I just wanted to say we're totally open for ideas. This is going to be new for all of us. So I think it's just going to, it potentially, I've been taking notes during this, but I think somebody said that it could be potentially in the future that it's both in person and virtual. So I think we're going to glean a lot of ideas from this first one. I do wish you all could be in Louisville, but hopefully we'll get the conference back here at some point in person. So that's it. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Margie. Thank you for all your help. We've got a wonderful team working on this, and we would love to reach out to you all. My email is gm@artxfm.com. GM like general manager at artxfm.com. Please email me, send me any messages about ways you might be interested in helping. We'll need moderators for each of the sessions, so that could be something maybe you could help with if you're good at Zoom stuff. And I think there's just a couple of things that I was thinking of people maybe you could help us locate for this conference that would be good speakers. As I mentioned, we'd like to do a history of each topic in the morning. So that would be somebody that could talk about the history of the pandemics in radio. And the next one would be the history of radio during protests. And of course, the third one being the history of radio during a presidential election. So we'd really like to start off each day with something on that nature. So if you can think of anybody that can help with that, please let us know. Other types of things, Matilda, you guys seem to do a great job with fundraising during the middle of this pandemic. So that could be a really good session.
Well, I'm not sure if we do a great job on fundraising. I think it's because we are giving reports. Even though people can, watch the press conferences on TV, we had somebody who, in the beginning, gave every hour an update of what he learned. And he went, the county and all over the place. And then our board chair, she went to one of the shelter places and did some reporting from there. So that was good. The fundraising itself, I think what has helped us, I'm the treasurer, so I know how it works. We, on a regular basis, daily, different programs, we thank our donors by name. And, there's people who give a one-time donation and recurring donations. And so we have different lists for that. And it seems to work. I really think it works if you regularly by name. I mean, it's a lot of administrative stuff. I know because I do it. But just doing that, it's really amazing how people are responding. And of course, having good programs, but you all have good programs, so.
So yeah, so your pro tips, I mean, that all is involved, with why people give. And then William.
Now, didn't you, sorry to interrupt you, but didn't you, when you did your reporting on, Brianna, didn't you get more donations just out of the blue because people love what you're doing?
We got a lot of attention, but we didn't really get any donations directly related to that. But we're kind of a big fundraiser. In fact, between now and the GRC, we have our biggest fundraiser of the year. So
I would say then, do end a good reporting and ask your treasurer to give you some names of people who recently have donated. I bet you that's going to help.
That's great. See, these are the kinds of amazing tips we need to hear. And Jim Ellinger at Austin Airwaves, Jim, you want to do promoting the hell out of your LPFM during the pandemic, maybe. We can't hear you. We can't hear you still.
Okay, here I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say again, please.
I said you've had a couple of ideas for sessions. One was adapting your promoting the hell out of your LPFM station to the contemporary times, and the other one was
I would put that. It is hereby submitted for your consideration. I would sort of put it as a second tier. I mean, I think the 3 points you're pushing forward are way to go, but we could easily do an hour or so about how we can still get the word out and ways you can do, promotional items at local grocery stores and this and that. I think where I might be able to help is, and I'm going to give Mike Brown a call after this, talk to the Boo crew. Radio coverage of demonstrations has become a whole new phenomena. I certainly have found myself caught up in it, mainly reporting for social media. But the whole thing about press credentials, are they real or are they fake? Are you a demonstrator or are you a reporter or are you a little of both? Are you targeted by demonstrators? Are you targeted by the police? At what point do you want to, not have the F word repeated 50 times? These are all things that most the demonstrator, activist, reporter types haven't been to broadcast school and don't know the broadcast regulations and all. Is still kind of learning. Here in Austin, there's a crew of us now that in just this year, we now have, body armor and crash helmets and gas masks and big press credentials. And some of these guys have been roughed up and arrested. None of that sort of thing ever happened in Austin. So I think, we could contribute a little, but certainly KBOO and other cities that have seen unrest, certainly Oakland and other cities now, we could say, things you should do, things you shouldn't be doing. Where are you crossing the line between being an activist and a quote unquote reporter? I think that's a great way to head.
That'd be awesome, Jim, especially, for us here in Louisville, we're on 90 days of protest now. And just wanting, those are all really great questions, and wanting to know how we cover it safely for, our DJs, both in terms of their physical health and protecting them against getting arrested are huge issues right now.
Sharon, if that program happened, would it be interesting to maybe invite local organizers that are in Louisville, like maybe Until Freedom, to talk about what they need from their perspective in terms of to people that are reporting on their actions. Like it might be great to hear from the other side of things in the same conversation.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be great, making the connection there.
I saw, Kenya, that you also noted that maybe a survey to figure out how much Zoom people can handle each day.
Oh, and I see there's something about recordings. We are going to do our best to record all the sessions and then get them posted to YouTube or something like that as quickly as we can after the session. Trying to think if anybody has had, we would like to do some kind of social fun things where people, mixers where people could socialize. Anyway, if you have any experience with something like that that's been really fun in these COVID Zoom times, let me know, please. And so feel free to go to, there's the GRC Grassroots Radio Conference Facebook page. And if you have any questions, you can always send a message there and we can connect that way.
Does anyone else have anything they want to add?
Just to let Sharon know, I don't know if you saw the message in the chat, but the website's now redirecting.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that was quick. Awesome.
I told you it's easier for me to do it that way.
That's wonderful. I'm sure one less thing for you to have to do. I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, one more thing off my list. I got about 1,000 more to go, but one off my list.
Great. Thank you so much for your help. That's awesome. Well, and hopefully the virtual GRC Google Docs will be something that will continue to grow even after this conference as well, a place where people can find and share resources. So this pandemic has been difficult for us all, and it is terrible not to get to see you all and dance around the campfire, whatever it is we do at the GRC conference. But I think this will be a fun way to connect. Maybe we can involve more people from all over the world, and then just get really excited about our opportunity to be together again when we are finally able to do so in a healthy way. But it's really just great to see your faces. So I'm looking forward to having some time with you all and catching up a little bit.
Well, thank you, Sharon. This is exciting. And so good to see everybody, and thank you for all your great ideas. And we'll just keep it going then. Are you planning to put the Google Doc link in the manager's email? Or
yes, I will. I'll craft another email with all the links that everybody needs to get started. But give me a day or so. I've got tonight and tomorrow are just kind of craziness. You radio people know how that goes. But give me a couple days and I'll get an email out with everything that you folks need. But in the meantime, please do get your proposals in there. Mark your calendars, October 9th through the 11th. Tell all your radio friends. This is the place to be.
Hey, Sharon. Do you have a deadline for the for the proposals?
We'd like to have them a month ahead of time. So let's say September 9th, which isn't a long time, but we've had the call out there, but this is your push. Let's make it happen.
Woohoo!
Thank you again for hosting, Stephanie and Ursula and Pacifica affiliates. Great to see you all, and I'm looking forward to, more learning about radio. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Clapping. Waving. I see clapping. I see waving. Muted clapping.
All right. Later.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It's been really great having you. And, well, I'm sure we'll see you soon at the GRC if we're to hear more of your thoughts. So thank you again.
All right. Take care, everybody. And we'll see y'all soon.
See you guys there.